Okay, good morning again, everyone. Hope you're doing super. If you can hear me okay, see me all right, put into the chat, let me know. I'm looking at the right camera, yeah. Today, we will be talking about how the BOC overnight cut rates down to 3.75%. And gold has finally come off the top with a massive correction or retracement back down, but it looks like it's on the way back up again and might go higher. So we'll talk about that and a whole series of PMI data to be released during this session. So we'll talk about and we'll hopefully see some price reactions there. We'll talk about that as well. Okay, so if you're on the session, get ready. Remember to click that like and subscribe button. But first, let's do this. 3, 2, 1, and we are back. Good morning, Stefan. How are you doing? Hey, Jew Marinas. Hope you're doing well. Now, let me see who else is on the session. If you're on the session, drop a message, say hi. You know the drill, right? I've been doing this. I think we've got more than several hundred videos of the live stream already. So you know the drill. Drop a message, say hi, let me know where are you joining us from, especially if you're new to the session. Um, and if you're a regular, I recognize the name. So do say hi, let me know that you're here. You can also click on that like and subscribe button if you haven't already. And what else? If you have any questions at any point in time, please feel free to put it into the chat and let me know. There is also my mailing list that you should have, if not already signed up for it, to get my ebook that I will send out to you or will be sent out to you almost immediately once you get onto the list. Okay. Good morning, Angel Case. How are you doing? Newest member in the YouTube membership. Good to have you with us. Now, let's see. Everything. My internet was a little bit spotty earlier today, so I hope it all stays okay. So far, so good. Alrighty. Okay. Hey, Sujit. I remember you. Hope you're doing well. Hope to see you again soon. Hope you're doing well. All right. Now, scroll back one in terms of the news. And we have the BOC, the Bank of Canada, with the interest rate decision last night at 9:45 p.m. It was a 4.25%. It was expected a 50 basis point rate cut down to 3.75%. And they did as expected, 50 basis point cut, taking it down to 3.75. I was going to trade this news event. I was going to go live to trade this news event. And those of you on Discord probably realized that while the gold was dropping right down and on release of this news, I was relatively quiet. It's because last night I just lay down and absolutely knocked out. Didn't trade this news event, didn't manage to sell gold to the downside. I did have one small trade that I had a pending order for, but didn't take the full advantage of that. I just fell asleep um, very early in the night, in the evening, all the way through very early in the morning. So I missed out on the moves. I hope you guys caught um, selling gold to the downside. I hope you guys caught. There wasn't any big moves on the BOC or the Canadian, so I hope you caught some moves on gold to the downside. All right. Not very happy I missed out on that, but with that, what you see on the BOC rate decision was that right at that point. Okay, that was at 9:45. So there, it did a 50 basis point rate cut. We saw the USCAD go from 1.3845 down to 1.3832, and then the next hour at 1.3840, up slightly before resting back again at 11 o'clock. So a whole bunch of down and up, and not a lot of things happening as a result, or resulting from that news decision. Two reasons. One, it is a rate cut as expected, right? So they did exactly as expected, so there's no big surprise there. And two, you can also see that at that time, the dollar index, right there, right, the dollar index was sitting very steady, right? It was just sitting at that 104.50 level, very steady, didn't look like it was trying to break to the upside. And also, the Bank of Canada did not come up with any big statements following the interest rate cut. So because of all that, we didn't see any massive move on the CAD. I think the one that stole the limelight last night was gold, where it went from, this was at 5 o'clock, 2756 or 2757, right down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hours. It went down to 2716, as low as 2708, before pushing back up again, right? So that's what's happened on gold. We are still thinking more upside potential. I'll tell you more about that shortly. Um, hey Meta B, how are you doing? I'm doing super, very well rested, so I should be doing super. So now with all that, today we do have French manufacturing and services PMI. 3:30 in a couple of minutes time. That's going to be released for the French. 3:30 p.m. GMT plus 8, we have the German manufacturing and services PMI. 4 o'clock, the Euro manufacturing and services PMI. 4:30, the UK with their manufacturing and services PMI, through to tonight at 9:45 p.m., where they would have manufacturing and services PMI for the US. And what you notice here is that it was 44, revised up to 44.6, expected 44.9. A small increase, still in the contractionary phase. Services 49.6, 49.8. That's borderline on a expansionary phase. If it's over 50, it's in expansionary phase. So it's borderline. It might bring about a little bit of a blip to the upside on the euro, but I'm not expecting a big move there. While German manufacturing and services PMI expected to stay relatively the same at 40.7 and 50.6, so not expecting a big change. Between the French and the German, I would say that the German PMI numbers should have a bigger impact, but it's not expected to change that much, while the Eurozone flash manufacturing and services PMI is also likely to stay relatively similar or flat. How many times can I say manufacturing and services PMI? So no big surprises expected there, together with the UK, together with the US numbers. So I'm thinking that we might see a little bit of a spike or a dip, but it's going to continue on, or likely to continue on, with the trend, the pre-existing trend. Okay. Following on from that, tomorrow, 3:45, we have Governor Bailey to speak at the Mike Gill Memorial Lecture. No, I'm not going to do too much. Tomorrow we have the core retail sales and retail sales number for the Canadians, which look like it could be interesting. I'll tell you more about that during tomorrow's session. Okay, so make sure you tune in to that as well. Good morning, Cass. How are you doing? Hope you're doing super. Now, with all that, all right, nothing else much to harp on. We're seeing the pound dollar push up a little bit right now. Um, no big reason. Now let's look at the news. Yeah, well, I like that. I was reading a lot about that recently. One-sided currency move as yen slides. Yes, yen is sliding. I think someone was asking that question. Lydia was asking that question yesterday about why is the yen weakening. We talked about that yesterday. Traders sell everything as US dollar and yield sold to 3-month high. That's why we saw gold dropping as the dollar, the 10-year yield was climbing up. Okay, so nothing big, no other big news events on the way or headlines. Then let's look at the charts. Okay, here we are on the charts. Now, with this, what you see is the dollar. Yesterday, we were talking about this, pushed up. I was expecting it to go for the upside. It needs to break 104.45 to trade up to 104.80. It got up to 104.45. It consolidated there and it didn't do part two as I was expecting. Right? So we only had part one of the move, didn't see part two. Let's take that away for now. Oops. Okay. And I'm looking at this. Yes, you can do this all the way up, but the levels will be so far, relatively far away, it doesn't make that much sense, right? So we'll take that away for now. You don't have to do it all the way up. You can also look at it as at that point. So it's gone up, tested 103.80, came back down, tested a trend line. So I'll be looking at that from this point up. Okay. Hey Jash. Jash, how are you doing? Hope you're doing well. Now at this point here, from this bottom at 103.42 up with the Fibonacci retracement levels, you can see that we have 23, which is where it's sitting right now, and it could test a little bit lower. We got a couple of dotted lines here. I'll take those away for now. Okay, big resistance up here is still valid. It's still something to look out for at 104.80. So now looking at this on the dollar index, what I'm expecting to see is that if it does break below this 104.30 level, we could see the dollar index come down to 104.10, test this level, and ideally be looking for it to bounce back up that way, right? I don't see any big reason why we should see the dollar index come right back down. And even if it does break that trend line, so long as it stays above 103, about 103.80, I would still say that the upward move is still strong. Okay? Oh, it just bounced back up, bounced right back up. Yeah, okay. Is it me or did it just went from red to green like in a flash? All right. So today being the, oh, I actually forgot to change that yesterday, 24th of October, dollar index. Take that away. Testing could range, could test 104.10 and bullish trend line. bounce higher to retest 104.80 to 104.80 resistance level. All right, and bounce higher. There we go. So it could test 104.10 bullish trend line and bounce higher to 104.80 resistance level. If it doesn't come back down, then we're going to see that still sit around this level, consolidate there, and then push up. Right? So could consolidate or retest or test 104.10, which is bullish trend line, and bounce higher to 104.80 resistance level. There we go. Good. Okay. Hey, Noachuku, how you doing? Now, with that, let me see. Anything else to add? I think it's sitting there. Looking at that. Okay. Now, with that said, then looking at the Kiwi, and it's very odd, right? You're seeing the dollar, and I think I said this yesterday as well, that it's not being very correlated with the dollar recently. We're seeing it sit there right across, might push up, but yet the Kiwi is climbing quite strongly. Aussie and Kiwi dollar find support after sell-off bonds bounce. So that push down from yesterday could have caught a 20 something pip move to the downside. Now is pushing back up. You would also notice that it came right down, wasn't out of the Bollinger, but you see the TSRI MACD crossing, right? So at that point, as it started pushing up, you see it crossing up. Then even if you had that trade to the downside, at that point where you see it cross over, you should be thinking to get out of a trade already. If you didn't get out of the trade by the next few times it comes back down, you see a big crossover, you should be thinking to get out of a trade. Okay, so I get that question quite a bit on when to close out a trade. This is one big reason why you would always look to close out the trade when the TSRI MACD tells you that we might see it push back up. Now with that, take this, oops, nope, not that. Take this, drag it down, sitting there, it's pushing back up, take that away for now. I'm looking at this and testing this as well. So 23 is right there. So that's why we had a dotted line now. I don't want, okay, that way. I don't want to be buying it up. Look at that big move, right? Look at that big drop since the 30th of September. So the 1st of October and now around the 24th. So for almost the whole month of October, it's been dropping. Yes, it could bounce, but the big trend is to the downside. I think that it's better to be looking for a place to sell from, right? Or rather, that's what I would be looking out for. So let it push up. I'll be looking for it ideally to push up to 6084, then looking for it to come back down again that way. So I wouldn't do anything on the way up. Look for it either to sell at 6084 or about that point there at 6060. So there's two levels that I want to look out for. Nothing on the Kiwi. So Kiwi, I would say, is that could retrace higher, look for reaction at 0.6060 or 0.6084. There we go. Oh, yep. Okay, good. Noachuku, I'm doing super. Good to see that you're doing well. Diana, no worries. Better late than never. That's my favorite line. So good to have you with us as well today. Now, so that's what I'm looking out for on the Kiwi retrace. Could retrace higher, look for reaction at 6060 or 6084 for selling. Uh, for selling. You know what I mean. Okay. And then on to the Aussie dollar. Got to change the color there. So onto the Aussie dollar, we spoke about this yesterday. It came right down to 6020, which was that point there. I think Diana was highlighting that point. So it worked out exactly as you said. Came down to 6620. What am I going to? 6620. We saw that come down to the point and push back up, but it went further than we had expected, right? So if you got onto that trade, I think that it would have been more likely, unfortunately, it would have been a stop loss on that trade, okay? But although it's a stop loss, although it would have been a stop loss, gold was very good opportunities. But if we catch that low point there, 50, let me see where 61. Ah, yeah, 61 is down there, so that makes sense. What am I doing? Okay. Go back to where I want you to be. And right there. Okay. So we see that pushing back up. I think that there's a little bit less retracement to be expected on the Aussie compared to the Kiwi. Aussie dollar looking for it to retrace. I'm not so keen on that anymore. That one, actually I don't want 50. No, I don't want 50 because it's broken already. Okay. That's what I'm looking for now. Good. Now, with that, we take that one away. What I'm looking for here on the Aussie would be that it continues to retrace either to test that trend line or 6690, which is that 23.6 level, before possibly pushing back down again. So we're looking at it going up to 6670 or 6690. I put it in the middle before coming back down again. So in that case, what I'll be looking for would be 6665. Stop loss about 15, take profit about 45 to the downside. There is more downside potential, so you could also be looking for it to break to the downside, but for now, that's what I'll be looking for. Okay, you could even do a 20 on that. 20 on that? Yeah, that's fair. Okay, so 6665, 20 to 45. 6665, stop loss 20, take profit 45 to the downside. Now, Cass is saying, I'd love a view on Euro Kiwi. We'll do that. Aussie Swiss franc and Swiss yen. No worries, we'll do. I'm sure we have time, so we'll do all that. Diana's asking for Aussie Swiss franc as well, so we got 2 requests for Aussie Swiss franc. We'll do that. Okay, we'll look at those 3. Just hang on tight. We'll get to that. Dollar pushing up. So it might not even retrace down. It looks like it's going to push up from here. Then looking at the pound dollar. It's odd, isn't it? Right. So pound dollar did push down. That's fine. We saw that. Um, we never expected it to move that 130 pips. It came down about 40 before pushing back up again. I'm just pausing and thinking that it wasn't a very big drop on the dollar, but yet we're seeing a lot of pairs retrace right back up. Um, it looks like it could come back here and then turn back down again. So that 61 is broken, so I'll take that one away. I don't want that anymore. I'll take that one away. I'll catch this move to the downside. And that 23 doesn't make sense, but we'll keep it there for now. And that's my resistance level. In fact, I would change it to that being my resistance level, just because of that points and how it's been reacting there. We should form this whole area. Then you would look at it going test, test. I want to say that the pound dollar is going to go up a little bit higher, but if the dollar index is climbing, it doesn't make sense. Could PMI push it up ever so slightly? So look at that. So those numbers dropping, went from 49.8 to 48.3. That's why we're seeing the euro dollar push down. Now at this point, test. Okay. In the best case scenario, what I'll be looking for is that it pushes up to the resistance before possibly coming back down again, with that trend line likely to break. So what I want to look for here would be to sell down 1.2995, below 1.3, 1.2990, stop loss 30, take profit right back down 100 pips to the downside. That's back down. Okay. I think there's a little bit more retracement to do. It might just test that trend line and turn back down, but I want to see what happens. So it's either going to do that or that. If it does that, I think it's a little bit too skinny. Let me test. 1.2950, stop loss 30, take profit 60. You could actually do that. Maybe let's look out for that one instead. Oh, just as I'm saying, it starts pushing up. I like that. I think that there's a very high chance it's going to break that trend line. 1.2990. 1.2990. Stop loss 30. Take profit 60. It makes it a lot trickier to do this analysis that we do when there's a news pending, because things can change so quickly with the pricing. Look at that. This news came out, euro dropped 330. News came out, euro spiked right back up again. So we're just catching all that. I want to see it as a bigger picture rather than just focus on that immediate move right now. Okay. Now then, looking at the euro dollar. Take that away, that didn't trigger. And I think especially the regulars would know that I hate or not hate, but I rather dislike trying to guess where the retracement is going to end. And also because I don't like going counter. So that's where we are on a big move to the downside. 23 is right there. We could see this level here as well. It looks like it's retracement. It looks like it's retracement day. It looks like it's retracement day. Back up. So on the sell euro from 1.0813, 1.0813, which is right there. Right there. Yeah, so it's all like that right now. See, Kiwi, we're saying it's gonna go up, right? It's likely to go up, test, and maybe come back down. Aussie, we have the same picture: go up, test that trend line, test that area, turn back down. Pound, test that, go up, test that trend line or that area, turn back down. Euro, same thing. It's like test this level or this level, or I don't think it'll go up to this level. All right, so come up to around 1.0830 and then possibly turn back down. But I don't like this one as much because if it does turn back down, the support is very near. And we have that threat of what happened on the 1st of August where it bounced quite strongly off this point, which it could bounce quite strongly off this point as well. So I wouldn't be super keen. I would say that, and this is me, possibly this is me being end of the month, bit more risk adverse, securing profits, a very good month of profits, and not trying to go too crazy when there is nothing clear and obvious, right? So this one is retracing, looking for reaction at 1.0810, 1.0830, around 1.0830. Looking for reaction slash rejection around 1.0830. Yep. Okay. There we go. Look at the dollar. Just as much as we've been talking since the stream started, it was first pushing down, then it was pushing up, now it's pushing back down. I mean, I know why it's pushing down. It's because of that the euro pushing up. So that's why we're seeing the dollar losing a bit of ground. But it's just bouncing around there, right? So we're looking at that retrace and possibly push back down. Not making it easy. I'll tell you now, it's not making it easy. The easy one is here. That's doing very well. US yen. I had one quick trade yesterday right after our session, right? As it pushed up, I think I did a quick, can't remember what trade I did there. A quick scalp on the US yen to the upside. I did a pound yen as well to the upside. Pushed up and then it came back down. So that did quite well. Oh no, my US yen was the one that I got in earlier and then it ran up. Yeah, that's right. I know I made money on the yen. Forgot how. Now, it tested 61.8, didn't like it and came back down. That's why. Take that one away. Bouncing back up right now. So you would see here that uptrend, find support, TSRI MACD crossing up. Again, that's trying to figure it out. That's pushing up. It's going against correlation. Now it came down to 152, pushing back up. I'm not super keen. I want it to be a bit clearer. I want it to be a little bit clearer. I would only be keen on the yen. Let me see this again. We're just getting to that nitty gritty part of the yen where it's trying to decide the next move. Take that away. 61.8 is that level. That's fair. So now if I look at this back to this point, then I would be very patient. I want to see what happens at this point here. Look for it to push up. If it does break above 153.30, then you'll be looking at 153.50. Stop loss would be about 40 pips. Take profit, you go 150 to the upside. Okay, so following the trend, at least it's not retracing 153.50, 40 to 150. Stop loss 40, take profit 150. There we go. Look at the dollar. Sitting right there. So it could test and bounce. Other thought is that it does that, then you would have this other trade. It is quite a fluid scenario today. You could be looking at 152, stop loss 35, take profit just to that previous high of 115. Then if it breaks that previous high, you can continue up again. China, are you selling? Probably not. She's waiting for 108.13, which is right. Well, 108.13 is right here, and I think that's why it's just that drop catching back up again. We'll have to wait and see for that one. Euro yen came right up to this level that we looking to buy. What are you buying? Oh, okay, the Aussie Swiss franc. Okay, we'll look at that shortly. Euro yen pushed up to that 165 level as expected. Now it's found a bit of a support, looking to push up. It's very in the middle, right? 164.20 right now. The previous high was 164.88 or 165, so I wouldn't do anything there. I think if the euro does gain that strength, if the yen does gain that strength to push up, then you look to buy it up above 165 to, I wouldn't go all the way, not in this current market conditions. I would say that you look for it to break above 165. So you're looking at 165.15. Stop loss, you'll be looking at 40 pips. Take profit, you could be looking at 120 to the upside. On a euro yen, pound yen, I did that. Pound yen, I did that quick push to the upside. Then I think it was a small trade. It was a small trade up. Let me see. Pound yen was 197. Where was it? 197. Oh, 197.70 there. And then got out at 198.40 there. Right there, 34 there. So that was just that quick move up. I think it was that one on the pound yen to the upside, closed out. Um, didn't continue up, so we take that one away. Now, as it tries to push up again, because the pound dollar is pushing up, because we have news to be released at 4:30 on the PMI numbers. We're seeing pound dollar gaining that strength for the last 2 hours. So on the pound yen, we should be seeing it push up. You could be looking that if it closes above 197.40, right? If it closes above that point, you could be looking at, and this is a bit of a high risk speculative move, 197.60, you'd be looking at a 40 pip, 50 pip stop loss. You'd be looking at a 140 to the upside. I would even go 40 pip stop loss on that. All right, then you could also be looking at 70 or 140 to the upside there on the pound yen. Okay. Then onto the US Swiss franc. Hasn't done anything at all. Right, we were right here yesterday. Came down, tested the trend line. I've got too many lines right across. Let me see. That one. So we don't need those for now. I don't like having too many lines. And then we have that one there. Okay. So now looking at this, the dollar needs to decide what it's doing. It's coming back down. We're looking for it to test this level at 140, 104. We're looking for it to test 104.10 and bounce back up. All right. Slightly outside Bollinger, so it might come back down a little bit and push back up. That's fair. Now that's deciding if the dollar does push back up, we could see this US Swiss franc push up. I don't need that trend line. I don't think it works very well. It's consolidating there. I think it's quite likely that it's going to keep sitting along this level. And actually, if I did a channel on this, no, doesn't really work. No. So that's what we have here. It's just sitting there, could push up. I don't think we're going to look for a big move. I think we're looking for it to come back up to that point. It might test a little bit lower first, but I don't see any big obvious thing here on the US Swiss franc. So I would say for that one, it is a do nothing. Do nothing. Okay. Then onto the US CAD. We talked about how it's been disappointing, right? And didn't push higher or lower. It just sat there after the news. But if you look at this of what we drew, came up to that 138.57 or 60 level. So that's what we're looking at there. And then looking for it to push down. Right? So looking for it to push down. That seems to be developing. That seems to be developing quite well. I'll take that one. I'll leave that there. look at that move up, and that's where you see 38.2. So right there. So what we're looking for here, maybe that dollar strength does come, the dollar weakness does come right into play. Then on the US CAD, you could be looking at 1.3810. No, give me a bit more space. 1.3805. Stop loss would be about 20 pips at the maximum. Take profit, you're looking at 50 to the downside. All right, so Looney could have that reversal, possible reversal. We're looking to sell at 1.0, 1.3, 1.3805. Stop loss 20, take profit 50. 20, take profit 50 to the downside, and it's, look at the dollar index pushing down, so we're looking for that to come down. Then as the dollar index pushes lower, we see gold pushing back up. I know, I think I know BL is on gold. I know a couple of you on gold as well. I've been in at that point there, trading it up. I got my stop loss covered already, so that's good. Oh, Diana is scalping gold. So you've influenced me to look at the US, the Swiss yen, and a few other pairs. It's getting through. I'm getting you influenced onto gold. How did you go on that? Let me know. Um, it's quite a surprise. So good to see. Hope you did well on that. Um, Gold. So it came back down. It was a little bit of a surprise as it dropped. I know it's all about price action and the levels. So it tested a lot higher and then it came right back down. Now at that point, it found a level and started bouncing back up. If it holds this point, let's see, I'm looking at this 50%. So it's right at that 50%. We were talking about this on Discord. Um, um, 2730 was the point, so it's still within that area that it needs to break before we're going to see further upside. I think that this looks like a good retrace that could drive gold higher. All right, this looks like a good retrace, a healthy retracement that could drive gold higher, but it needs to break above that 50% and even that 61.8 level, which is 2740. So if we see gold break above 2740, we might see it reclaim 2760. I'm just thinking whether you get to 2780. It's just a wild guess, isn't it? Okay, it's first 2740, then to 2760. Got up to 2760, so needs to break 2740 to retest, to test 2760, right? And needs to stay above, let me see, above 2700. If it breaks 2700, I think we're going to see a lot more downside as the first round number level. Okay, now with all that, I bought it from 2715, still holding. Some sold it out. Oh, nice. 2715 was there. Yeah, when it dropped, I would. Yep, I can see why you bought there. Some sold it out. Okay, cool. Now, let's look at the Euro Kiwi. Where am I? Okay. Didn't go up, didn't trigger that level, so we take that one away. Potential entry at 1.7850, 1.7850. I'm guessing that what you're looking for. Oh, further pressure below. Um, it's just being influenced by the euro right now, and the kiwi is pushing back up a little bit. So that's being dragged up by the euro, and also because we're way outside Bollinger. Would you consider 1.2790? No, I wouldn't do that. I think I said this the last time round. Um, for this to break lower, euro needs to come right back down. Right? Euro needs to come right down for this to break. And euro doesn't seem like it's ready. It's gonna sit there for a little bit. I feel like on the euro or kiwi, it could just stay within this range. So even if it comes down, it might just stay within this range like that. So I think there's a good opportunity if it does break cleanly. I would be looking at 1.7825. 1.7825 like that. If you wanted to sell down, right, stop loss would be about 40 pips. Take profit, you'd be about 140, or maybe in the interim level there. But I think more likely we're going to see it sit within that range. Yeah. So if it doesn't break out of that level, then you buy it back up within that range. I think it looks like it's going to range. If it breaks up above this point, then it will still range but on a higher bound. I think ultimately you can even put this as a support. And if you looked at this, it's possibly going to tell you that that's the 50% level. So range, range, range. If it breaks up, range, 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 upper or lower bound of that 50. I think that's likely to happen. The most likely scenario on the Euro Kiwi. Then onto the Aussie Swiss franc. So I hope I answered your question there, Cass. Onto the Aussie. I don't have it. Okay, onto the Aussie Swiss franc. Aussie Swiss franc. I had it before. I'm pretty sure I had it before. Why is it missing? Am I just not seeing it? No. Okay, never mind. Put it back. Hang on a second. Just bear with me for this minute. Okay. So that was back in September. Let's take all that away. Aussie Swiss franc found a good bottom here. Let's call that the support. All right. Pushing back up. Let's look at that. That 61 is right there. So that makes sense. That's the point. Then that's the point here as my resistance. Now zooming in, you're definitely going to see more upside, which is a bit odd because Aussie is pushing up, but not by a lot. Swiss is sitting right there, so that's a bit odd that we're seeing such a move on the Aussie Swiss franc. Take that, oops, and if you look at the 50, it's approaching. So quite similar to the Euro Kiwi. I think that China says I am already in Aussie Swiss, but reaching 50, so I would like to buy it up more if it breaks that level. I think so. I think that's a reasonable play. I wouldn't add, for me, typically, I wouldn't, not typically, I don't like to add onto a position, but I think that if it breaks and you're comfortable adding, I think it does look like it could have a bit more. Maybe safer, instead of that 50, you'd be looking at that 61.8 because we see a lot of reaction there. But then it comes quite close. So you'll be looking at about the upside. What I think could happen is that it will come up into this area and then maybe do that. Especially if the Aussie continues to push up, we could see that really push back up. So that's what I'll be looking for. Only, yeah, I'll be thinking of it above 5.7. I wouldn't say that 5.790. Then you'll be thinking of further upside, a bit more confirmed. I don't like the word confirmed, but a bit more confirmed upside. Haven't added any other pairs yet. Bought this from 5750. Very nice, very nice. Yeah, I would see that it dropped, then it retraced, and you would have got in there right at that tail. So yeah. Yeah, if it breaks 6.8, 5.8, if it breaks 5.8, then that next level is a bit too near because that next level is only 5.820. Then you wouldn't possibly want to take on that risk. I would say that if you're looking to add, you'd be looking at 5.790 with a bit of a risk there. I wouldn't do it above 5.8, or you look for it to break 5.830 for that move up towards 5.870. Okay. Now with that, then there was one more pair. What was it? Swiss yen. Good. Swiss yen. We did super on that. Came down, tested, bounced right back up. This was yesterday, right up, broke, turned back down. Now, see, that looks like it's trying to cross back up. That's trying to cross back up, so you'll be looking for it to push. That's done pretty much as we wanted. That's gone right up. And if you look at this move, it's come and it's found. I don't know why I have so many lines here, but it's come and it's found this point, which is the 23.6. Now the thing is that it might sit here for a little bit, right? Because it's coming back in. So it might sit here for a little bit before pushing back up again. I think that it might be a little bit early. Swiss franc not doing too much. Yen, if you look at it, yen is trying to push up, so you'll be looking for the upside move on the Swiss yen might be worth bit of a risk on this. Where if you're looking at it now, what's a new hour already? So looking at it now, 175.70. Stop loss would be about like 20 pips. Keep it super tight. Your take profit could be 80 to the upside. So 1:4 to the upside. That could actually be a something to look out for. That could actually be a reasonable setup that um, setup that you might want to take. Okay. Good, good, good. Thank you, Diana. Thank you all. Thanks, Cass, for the questions. Thanks, Diana. Thank you, everyone. If you haven't already, remember to click on that like and subscribe button. Um, and also, what else? Join the mailing list. Have a chat on Discord. I uploaded a video about my week in the UAE. Go check that one out as well. If not, then I'll see you all. Happy trading, safe trading, make good profits. I'll see you all tomorrow. Take care now. Bye bye.